What's up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this beautifully honest reaction.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you a good guy, make me believe. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, feel so.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel and the podcast. Listen, okay. This Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Twitter X war of words has been going on for the past day or so, and a lot of people have been talking about it. I've had some things shared with me. It really is just too much for me to even get involved with because I've had a very busy week, but I could not pass the opportunity up just to point out a few things, all right? Because I previously did some commentary about how Judge Joe Brown pretty much slammed Cardi B, doesn't like anything about her, doesn't want to have anything to do with her. And I shared my commentary and shared my thoughts on that. And then I talked about how it just seems to me that not only a lot of followers, a lot of people on social media, but even some media outlets, in my personal opinion, just seem to really cover for her. They excuse her behavior. And I really didn't, when I did that commentary, I really didn't have any idea about some of the things because I'm just not really on social media like that, not in that way. So I had some things shared with me that I was like, oh my God, I had no idea. I didn't know that Armon Wiggins did a live where he pretty much was talking about the same thing. So I didn't know about that. So that was shared with me. And also it was shared that uh, some of the Instagram blogs like the Neighborhood Talk and the Shade Room, they don't really post her unless it's either something positive or they try to do it in a slick way where it's maybe someone that, and I wouldn't even say affiliated with her, but in some way, like connected with her in the news in some way. So they'll share information about that person. And so, because she didn't like the fact that she felt like whenever they posted her, it was not, it wasn't favorable to her. And I didn't even know that. I was like, are you kidding me? I just was seeing what I was seeing, but those were not things that I knew about. So I was like, oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Wow. And then recently, Armon Wiggins did this, like, because like I said, some of the things were shared with me, like this over 3 hour live the other night. So some of the things were shared with me from that. And I said, oh, see, but I really have a very strong discerning of spirits. I could see some things and discern some things, but I may not say a whole lot, especially when honestly, at the end of it all, it really doesn't have anything to do with me. It doesn't affect my life. It's really not that important. So I'm definitely not going to spend hours upon hours in, indulging in this mess. I'm not. But I want to share a few things because in this over 3 hour marathon live where he was breaking down a lot of the tweets that Cardi and Nicki were going back and forth with each other, he admitted some things. And a lot of the things that he said, I already felt this. So I wouldn't say I knew it. I would say I felt it. Because as you know, Armon Wiggins, he's really into rap. He's really into the female rap. And he also has his own music. He really is into this. This is what he loves. And I would say what he does. So he admitted that he felt like he was being used to push, to push her and also to go against Tasha K. Now, while I will admit that he and Tasha K have had their issues prior to Cardi B even really being a thing like that, when Tasha K and Cardi B's litigation situation was a thing, I do believe that Armon Wiggins' fuel, the fuel was added to the fire simply because he did not really care for Tasha K. So it, it gave him even more of a drive to be on Cardi B's side and even push for Cardi B to not settle the lawsuit or drop it or work something out with her. And, I would say those are things that I really care for because I felt like that, in a sense, he was taking these things more personal than he should have. But she wouldn't have pissed on him if he was on fire. But in that way, Cardi B kind of reminds me of 45/47. And Armon Wiggins at that time was like a MAGA supporter. You know what I mean? Not going to really do anything for you, but you're on that person's side till, till the end. But anyway, let's get into these video clips because I want to share this with you guys. And I was like, yeah, this is what I felt. So it really wasn't a surprise to me. All right, guys, so you can see the screen right here. This is from his live that he did the other night. And I'm just going to share a few clips, and I'm sharing this under the Fair Use Act. This is just for commentary and research and critique. I'm not claiming this content as my own, but I will put the full video link in the description box because, like I said, it's an over 3 hour live. It's long and it's a lot. But let's just get into these clips here. All right.
My friend who and crashed out and told me, she said I was using her. She said I was only there to be an opportunist. On and I was like, well, using you for what? Right. You actually you, and I told her this. I said, girl, do you know that you let the narrative ride that I was jealous of Jason Lee getting an interview with you? And you knew that when you should. I know that's not true, but I'm like, but you never said nothing. Right. But even to this day, she's never, she knows I was never mad about that. But everybody would throw that in my face. But when anyone else would have issues, she'd be online defending it. But girl, I'm the motherfucking voice. These girls don't move shit. Correct. And you got me out here looking crazy.
Because she didn't care. And that's why I said in that way, she reminds me of 45/47. I don't like to use his name too much over here, but the orange creep that's in the White House right now that is destroying America, yeah, him. Because his followers support him till the end, and really nothing that he's doing is benefiting them. She could have given him an interview, even if it was like a Zoom interview. We know she did an interview with Jason Lee. Lord, I was about to say Tasha K. We know he did, and she did an interview with Jason Lee in his studio for the show he has. I think it's called the Jason Lee Show or something like that. But anyway, yeah, Armon Wiggins had been Cardi B all day, every day when it came to the point where he was really big upping her. And her music, in my personal opinion, was never that great. So now he's admitting things and saying things like Cardi B can't rap. Why was it different then than it is now? And I'm not saying these things to shade him or to bash him. I don't know what that life is like, and I really don't want to know. That's why I just don't get into that fan culture. I may give commentary and things like that over here about, some things and some people, but it doesn't mean that I'm fanning anybody. I just, that my spirit just ain't built like that. But I'm saying when he was really big upping her, he never said she can't rap. Nothing's different now than it was then. In my personal opinion, she could never rap. But if people really are going to fan for her and stand for her, they can't say that. But now that he's been freed from that, whatever it is of hers, that he's more free to speak his mind. And I love this for him because I don't dislike Armon Wiggins. I've, made commentary about him over here for, different things. Some things I was on his side about, some things I wasn't. That's how I am. I try my best to be on the side of right. I don't know these people. So it's like, I don't know what that's like for him to have gotten in the space of being able to go to her birthday parties, to be on the phone with her for hours. Like he said, this is his words. He's like, he would be on the phone with her for hours and they'd be talking about this and talking about that. So he probably felt more of an obligation to be on her side because he didn't want to piss her off. But then it's like, well, if you can't even give honest critique about someone, then why would you want to be affiliated and associated with them? And I guess maybe there were some perks, who knows? But I'm just saying, he admits that, yeah, she was like thinking, and I don't even believe she thought that. I just believe that was her way of guarding herself from having to have an obligation to help him, to say that, oh, you're just using me.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
You,
And-
she was using you because she
Well,
wanted.
that's what I said. I said, well, girl, you're really using me because shit, I'm not getting shit out of it.
You're not getting a return. Right.
And actually, I'm being laughed at.
Right, like what's the investment?
say nothing.
And
but
you're
good.
being flagged as a biased commentator.
And yeah, he started feeling that way. To me, I started getting the vibes of, yeah, he's biased, because it's like, if you can't say anything, then I don't really know. And I would get to the point where I would not really listen to any of the commentary that he would give about Cardi B, because I was just like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear the praises, just because I already know that that's what it's giving. But I would agree with him. Yeah, she was using him. She may have felt like, well, nigga, you getting views off of me. That should be enough for you. Aren't you a YouTuber? Because at the end of it all, she never really respected him. It was the fact that she knew that Armon Wiggins and her nemesis, that she chose to make an even bigger nemesis, because like I said, the only person that won, or persons that won in that litigation situation, really truly, were Cardi B's legal team, not attorney, legal team, because they got their money. They got their money. Let's just say that, and way more than they really should have been paid. It was just ridiculous. She sued someone that really was not on her level in the space of hierarchy for what people view as popularity, and definitely on the space of monetarily. Because like I said, and I'm just coming from the space of being a former legal assistant, people sue companies. Companies don't usually sue people. And when they do, they usually already see it as a loss. Like, seriously. Unless it's like for some small amount, like maybe like a credit card company suing somebody for like a $2,000 Amex, bill or something like that, where they could just put it on their credit report. But that really, even that is just like a wash, because they already have their legal team as employees of the company, or they're already paid to do these things, and those debts were already written off on their taxes, so they really didn't lose anything. But anyway, let's continue.
At that
But I
point,
think, but I
And so,
think
let me finish telling you guys. So I'm like, girl, you're going off on me. And I'm like, and I just told her, I'm saying, well, girl, I didn't really think we was friends, girl. You was here in LA. You didn't even, it was my birthday. You didn't even call. You didn't say happy birthday. Like, so, I didn't think that we were friends enough to just be calling you like that.
right.
She got mad because I didn't call her first, but I didn't really know, because when I was trying to do the friendly thing, she would only respond back to the messy shit.
Because she is the drama. That is why. So I'm going to stop it right there, guys, and I'm going to fast forward to another part of this video that I really want to get to, because, yeah, clearly she was using him, period. So on this part of the video, he has some people up on a panel, and somebody asked him, because Armon Wiggins, he has some music that he made, and there was a song that he called Deposit Your Check. And he admits why Cardi B either liked the song, or shared it. And it really didn't have anything to do with him. So let's just go ahead and get into this part.
I never called her and asked her for shit. So I never wanted to call her and have her thinking that I was only contacting her because I wanted something from her, right? And so the only thing I ever wanted, people, I said this, people were like, I want an interview. It wasn't that. She would call me and say, I want you to listen to my album, or I want you to come to the studio, but it would never happen. And then she told me, well, I don't have you come because you're like my sister Hennessy. You're very crucial. And so you might not like it. And so she didn't want to hear that. And I was like, okay, but stop telling me that. But I felt like she was holding that, like, and I said, girl, honestly, the only thing I ever wanted was to bring you out on stage. Like, it was no shade. Like, I think that would be fun. But it wasn't about an interview. Everybody thought I wanted this big exclusive interview. No, I just wanted to do the when she finally went on tour, bring her out. I always told her that. It was nothing more than that. So for me to be using her, I never got anything. I didn't get no interview. Actually, she would spit in my face and then sit and do the interviews with Jason Lee or go and defend Uglier Than or everybody else. When I was, I'm the one reviewing the music. And, me and Jason Lee, we don't have any problems anymore. We've made peace. We're not friends, but we don't. It is what it is. She's over there. I'm over here. If I see her, we speak and we piece it out and we move on. But you got to think during that time, that was also a person that told me, don't even promote your music if I'm not getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
And I still promoted your shit.
I mean, that just shows what type of person she is. She's extremely selfish, very self-centered, and everything is about her. And she's just toxic, you know? For her to tell him, don't promote my music if you're not getting paid for it, and then he still does it and she still doesn't show any appreciation is wild, you know?
There was times that me and her would talk on the phone for hours and hours upon, and we would go through, not even like on some like, just like looking for shit, like on some homie shit, like, oh, you see this girl, not even like famous rap girls, like we just be going through music and like listen to different beats and listen to shit. Like I would be in here. I remember I had my surgery one time and I was perked out because I had, I had my plastic little surgery, I had my shit going on, and we was just shooting shit. And she was like, oh, this girl's dope in the bay, and we was listening to music and listening to beats, and we were just, I was like, oh, I was on Spotify, she was on Spotify, we was just going through the shit, and I would keep it real with her. And I think one day I kept it too real with her. And I told her that, girl, Ice Spice is on your heels.
Because she was.
She told Uglier, but then also I feel like Uglier Than started to feel away because there was another gay person getting close. She started pouring down, like, he's messy, he's this, don't trust him. Because then she would go confide in him, probably, you know what he told me about Ice Spice? And so I really think Uglier Than was the reason why we really fell out, because I think he was the one that was really trying to point seeds of doubt in our relationship, because he was in fear that his position was going to be lost. When I even told him on the phone, bitch, I don't want to be the best friend.
Yeah. I was going, you feel like Jason Lee also, I'm sorry, I just wanted to say, do you feel like Jason Lee also had a...
No, I think Jason Lee tried, but Jason Lee, like, she was more of, y'all need to work that out. I ain't gonna lie, like, she still would be cool with me. It was Uglier Than.
And see, for me, if you listen to what he's saying, and if you're like, who's Uglier Than, I think he's talking about some gay guy that, I don't know if the person is trans or what. Like I said, I'm not on social media like that, but they've been talking about this person called Ken Barbie that's pretty much like Cardi B's do girl or do boy or do it. And I'm sorry, I'm not, do they? I'm not trying to be offensive. I don't know, but that it's just somebody that is just really going hard for Cardi. And I think that person and Armon Wiggins don't get along. And he has a thing about these gay guys wearing wigs and makeup and all this other stuff. But anyway, because Armon Wiggins he's gay. But anyway, I think that's who he's calling Uglier Than, because you're like, you might be thinking, who is Uglier Than? But I think that's who he's talking about. But what I wanted to say is, I feel like, and I'm going to give him some credit here, I feel like this speaks to the maturity level of Armon Wiggins, because if you don't know, I did some previous commentary where he was, going off on Funky Dineva, and I feel that Armon Wiggins has a whole lot more maturity than Funky Dineva definitely does, and I give him credit for that. Even when it comes to the times where the Instagram blog, I'm Wine with Tasha K, may have posted, some things about Armon Wiggins that was not favorable, he didn't get on here and crash out and talk about, when I see Tasha K, I'm gonna slap the ish out of her and all this other stuff that Funky Dineva's done. But Funky Dineva's the same nigga in a wig, or used to be in a wig, that was sitting across from Carlos King saying how Armon Wiggins has some more maturing that he needs to do. It's laughable to me, but I'm just saying, him sitting here saying that, no, because the people in the panel, or someone in the panel was asking him, do you think Jason Lee had something to do with, Cardi B and you, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no, I don't believe Jason Lee had anything to do with that at all. And that was during a time when him and Jason Lee are not cool. He said they've squashed things since they had a falling out. They're not friends or anything like that. But that isn't the point that I'm trying to make. I feel like he is someone that can showcase, yeah, he's had his moments of crash out, imperfect human being, just like all of us. But I feel like it speaks to his maturity level. Even when he was doing a live and he was, showing love to Tasha K, I heard that Tasha K was not really in the chat. So maybe somebody, because you know how people get through, they may, have a picture of Betty White and the name is Betty White, or they have a picture of Wendy Williams and the name will say Wendy Williams. People can be whoever they want to be on social media these days. But anyway, even if it was not really her in the chat, they still posted it up on their Instagram, and they didn't clown him and say we wasn't in that nigga's chat. What's he talking about? They were like, he showed us love and we're giving it right back. So again, I just wanted to say that I feel like that speaks to his maturity level when it comes to this Cardi B mess.
Okay.
So Armon, what would you say?
And it was everybody, every time, I said I didn't like something that she did because I had proximity to her, they would share it to her as if they were getting me in trouble with her.
And that too is like nuts. Because like I said, I do believe that most of the things that he spoke about Cardi B back then were more so favorable. It would just be honest critique. And she couldn't take that. And then you got minions sharing that stuff to her to get her upset with you. Like, who wants to be around somebody like that? Like, really? Like, you're not God. Who are you?
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
She won't yes man around. It makes
So
100%
Armon,
sense.
so explain the little one tweet. You remember when she did your deposit your check? When she shared, what was that?
That was a whack at Tasha K. That wasn't to support me.
So you get that, right? He said that wasn't to support me at all. It wasn't to support my music. It was a whack at Tasha K, because that was after the trial and and all that stuff. And he is saying she used my stuff to come at Tasha K to pretty much say deposit your check. It had nothing to do with supporting me and supporting my music.
Got you.
But mind you, Nicki had posted me.
Armon, it's feedback. It's feedback on your mic.
Oh, hold on, let me turn this Bluetooth.
I don't know why it's static.
Is it still static?
It's not static now.
Okay.
No, like in certain angles, it will sometimes get static.
So you can
Someone dropped in the chat that Stephon D posted a picture with Jay-Z.
He tweeted.
All right, so he's going into more tweets, but if you caught that little last part there that he said, but mind you, Nicki Minaj, she shared my stuff first. And Nicki didn't have a dog in that fight. So with all of those things being said, there was a lot of tweets going back and forth. I'm not here to get into, who said this and who said that when it comes to every single little tweet, right? Obviously, it was a war of words, but there's some things that you can't say. And out of all of the people who wants to sue people for defamation, I'm not going into all of those tweets, guys, because it's a lot, but there were some tweets where Cardi B, listen, I don't hear anything about, Nicki Minaj, she was talking about her kids. I heard people read some of these tweets, guys. You may not like it, and you can't sue. Well, you can sue anybody for anything. It doesn't mean you have a case. But defamation of character or whatever is not saying that somebody's going to call your child a this or say this about your child, versus accusing someone of using drugs while they were pregnant and causing their child to come out with disabilities. That's pretty much what Cardi B has done in her tweets. And people were saying that both of them were posting and deleting, but people have it. So once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. Somebody's got it. But the things that Cardi B was saying, the one person who sued someone for defamation of character because of something that she said was said about her, she's going to say all of these terrible things about another person. I'm wondering, will Nicki Minaj sue her? And to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind it, because not just because of what Cardi B said, but it would be one person who has means financially suing another person who has means financially. Not doing what Cardi B did, going after someone, suing them for all of this money. And also Nicki Minaj sued someone as well, another blogger. I think her name was Nosy Holes or Nosy Hole or something like that. That situation was not nearly as big as the Cardi B Tasha K situation. And I think in that situation, that person didn't have to really pay a whole lot of money either. So it's like, yeah, sue somebody on the same playing field, financially and in popularity, especially with the things that Cardi B has alleged about Nicki Minaj, with her using drugs and causing her child to come. Like, where did she get that information? And that definitely would be something that you would have to prove if she were to get sued. But listen, like I said, I'm not wishing that would happen, but I'm saying I wouldn't be mad at it if it did, because again, it wouldn't be some big time person coming after someone who really ain't got it like that. Like Tasha K said, I ain't got it. A lot of these people don't. But she can sit and say anything that she wants about people, and people give it a pass and they excuse it and they cover. Oh well, Nicki Minaj, she's older than her, and this stuff is just really toxic and ridiculous. But I wanted to share those things. Like I said, these things were shared with me, and I wanted to share it with you guys when I had a moment, which I really don't have a moment. This has really been a busy week for me, guys. But anyway, I wanted to get into this and get your thoughts. So I want to know what you guys think about Armon admitting that Cardi B used him while she tried to claim that he was using her when she really used him against Tasha K. And also, do you believe that Nicki Minaj will sue Cardi B for defamation, claiming that she was using drugs and caused her child to be born with disabilities? I want to know what you guys think about it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.